Hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we are discussing a movie called The Boy Who Cried Werewolf. Is it correct pronunciation? Werewolf? Teacher?
Yeah.
Werewolf. Okay, and I was fooled by this name, by this title, because I didn't pay attention at the beginning to werewolf. I thought it's just wolf. So when Vova asked me what is the movie about, and I said it's a it's a famous story for the boy who, but it wasn't. So it was quite different. So they just tried to make a pun, right? To play with this game, with this title.
Yeah, his sister was the werewolf, so he werewolf.
But Leila, do you know this story? The boy who cried wolves, how we call it?
No, my dear friend, no. In order to tell you understand what the film is about, because the title doesn't say anything. Okay, there is a werewolf, but the boy who cried. I said,
yeah, but I'm talking, about original story, like, romance
No.
story, I guess. It's very ancient.
the only thing I read is Edgar Allan Poe's wolf story. That's all.
Let me ask someone else. Osans, what about you? Do you know the story? The boy who cried wolf?
Yes, it's a common story. All the school will have this story in their supplementary reader.
Yeah. Can you tell us the gist, the idea?
The gist is the boy who's mischievous and he's always fooling around. He fools the fellow shepherds that a werewolf is coming, and when they tried to run to that place and try to help him, they found out that he's just joking and it was a prank. But one day the real wolf comes. The boy cried that wolf came, but nobody paid attention because of his past activities.
So what is the moral? Moral is don't give us false alarm, right? Because if it was a true alarm, we will ignore it, right? So if we all crying, World War III is going to happen tomorrow. Then on the next day we say, don't bother me, right? I don't trust you anymore. So
yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't seem that it. Yeah, Gerard, please.
In Spain, we call it a story, the liar shepherd.
Yeah.
So I didn't know the story. What this name? The boy.
We have the same here.
The lying shepherd.
The shepherd that lies. How do you call that?
The lying shepherd. Okay.
The liar, no? The liar shepherd. The liar.
Oh, liar. Okay.
Because the shepherd lies all the time until it's true.
Okay. Yeah. So in this one, instead of crying wolf, wolf, he's crying werewolf, werewolf.
Yeah, but they just kind of made a trick, right? They try to grab our attention by this, famous quote. But it has nothing with the movie, I guess.
Right.
Okay, and when I was looking for the cast for names, I found that there was an old movie, The Boy Who Cried Werewolf, 1973.
No, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and there is a funny picture, so I can see it.
Yeah.
Whoa, is it your painting?
Those who didn't believe are dead.
Actually, I have a soft spot for posters like this. When I was young, all the cinemas, they don't have a printer, right? They didn't have a printer, so they draw a picture every time. Sometimes it was brilliant, sometimes it was like this. So I still like it. Okay, but our movie is pretty fresh. So 2010, right? It's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find names. So I opened Wikipedia for this. So we have a family of Sands, right? It's the family name, Sands, and we have Jordan. Is it a girl, right? Who else?
Yeah.
Hunter is the boy, and David, father, right? So we have. Well, can you remember this? Jordan, Hunter and David. Okay. Also, we have Dragomir Vukovic. I don't know. Leila, when you see a name Dragomir Vukovic, about what nationality do you think?
Russian, I thought.
Russian? Well, could be something Slavic, I would say. It's not Russian for sure, but something
You
Slavic.
know, I don't know the difference a lot, but I said, okay, could be Russian.
Dragomir sounds Russian because of the mir,
Yeah,
but Vukovic sounds more Polish.
Polish, yeah, something like that.
Hmm.
Okay,
But
I have a question for you. So, Romania, what do we know about Romania? Let's start from the simple facts. So, what language they speak in Romania?
Romanian.
Leila, do you know?
I don't know.
They speak Roman. They say that they're from their ancestor of Roman Empire.
Yeah.
If I'm right, Gerard, please correct me if I mess it with something.
I think it derives from Latin, but it's not completely Latin. I think it's also a Slavic language.
Yeah. I just remember I had a friend from Romania and he was so proud about this. He said, our language, is more Latin than Italian. So they are kind of straight ancestor of Roman Empire or something. So that's why they call themselves Romania. But what is interesting that their names are Slavic, not Roman, but Slavic names. I don't know how to explain this. Okay. What else about Romania? Leila, do you know something?
What do I know? I don't know anything, to tell you the truth.
What
I
about
just wonder which money are they using?
Yeah, now they're in the European Union, I believe. So euro, probably.
Euro.
Yeah. But do you know about vampires?
I mean, I'm not interested in vampires a lot, my friend. I am really, really afraid of even watching them.
Yeah, okay. But have you heard about Dracula?
Yes.
The most probably famous one, right? Dracula. And
Yes.
I believe that his castle is in Romania. Am I right? Well,
Yes.
yes, in Romania. Or,
Is it a kind of truth that vampires exist or not?
it's legend.
Yeah.
The book, the legend says that they started in Transylvania, which is a region of Romania.
Yeah.
So there is a castle in Transylvania that they advertise as Dracula's castle. It's a tourist attraction. It's on sale. It was in the internet a long time ago. It's on sale. So there's that castle, you can buy it and live in it if you want to.
Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. But in fact, Romania, as far as I know, is kind of a poor country, developing country, so their economic is not so strong, and that's why they like tourists, and they like to kind of exaggerate this legend about vampires in their castles to attract tourists. So there are kind of hundreds castles of vampires. You can go there. Some of them are hotels, so Leila, you can sleep a night with.
Thank you, of course. I love it.
It's Leila's dream.
No way. Ivan, when we were children, people told me this kind of vampire stories, and my grandma used to say, don't worry, show them some garlic. It's a kind of belief. If you show them some garlic, they will escape.
Yeah, it's important. So there are three things that vampires are afraid of. Vasant, do you know these three things?
One is light, and second is garlic, but I don't know the third one.
Yeah, I thought about cross.
Yeah. On the film, right?
Well, anything else?
Yes, I think it's also like wood, sharp, like
Yeah, special wood. Yeah, made of some special tree.
no, not just special, just some very sharp
Yeah.
wood.
So how we call it? Spear? It must be a spear of special wood, but I forgot how it's pronounced.
We call it a stake.
Steak. Okay.
A stake through the heart.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Another one, silver bullets. Do you remember this? So silver, yeah. It's very
That's
important.
well, that's for werewolves.
Okay.
Only for werewolves. Okay.
And another thing, blessed water, you know, blessed
Yeah.
by a priest.
Yeah. Holy water. Yeah.
Holy
Holy
water.
water. Holy water, yeah. Okay. So if you have a little bit holy water, bring it with you, right, to Romania. So next time. Okay. So Jordan, Hunter, David, and there's a family in America, right? Well,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
could you describe their families? What they do? How? What is it about them? So let's talk about the story. How the story starts. Where they are now in the beginning of the story.
In the America,
In USA.
USA,
Mhm.
and Hunter like to
Likes. Mhm.
likes to scare people.
Yeah, naughty boy, right? He always likes to scare people to death, right?
Yeah.
How he does it?
With some costumes.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, prankster. Teacher wrote for us a prankster. So prank is kind of a thing that you do. A prankster is a person who does this.
Right.
A prankster, right? What about his their daughter, Jordan? What we can about her? What we can say about her?
I don't know.
Just I don't know how it goes. Adolescent, right? So a girl with probably 14 or 16, right? In a hard period, we call it a hard period of or tough period. I don't know. So in that period, children are very self-confident, right? Or opposite. So, but they don't trust parents anymore.
And also a bit aggressive
Yeah,
at the age of
aggressive.
13, 14.
Yeah, unstable. Can I say? Yeah.
Yeah.
In this family, the mother has died for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
So the girl, the dad's busy working all the time. So the daughter's kind of taken over the household. She tells him what bills have to be paid, what bills can be postponed. They don't have a lot of money. They're kind of poor. They're struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So, was it a rich family?
No.
No, they were poor.
Yes.
Okay, how we know this?
She does. They. I don't know.
Do you remember there was a moment when they counting these bills and they say this must be paid today, this must be paid in recent future, and they say we need a miracle, right? We need a miracle. Huge one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's an electrician, right? He's an electrician.
Electrician. I don't think it's important for the story, right? So he did not use anything.
It's not a high paying job.
Okay. Sergey, are you feel offended that electrician is not a high paid job?
Yes, I agree. But it depends of who is you in electrician company.
Okay.
If you're electromonter, but yes, it's not enough money. You're head of or top management.
Okay, so better to be a boss of electricians, right?
Yeah. What we would
Yeah.
normally in America, I would call an electrician if, let's say, I wanted a new electrical outlet put somewhere. I could call him and say, I need an electrical outlet installed in this wall. And he would, go into the attic or drill holes in the wall and run the cable inside the wall, or, my outlet doesn't work. I don't know what to do. Come fix it. Or I need a new breaker for a new circuit to power an outside gazebo. I put lights out there with the ceiling fan. So you call them for small electrical work that you want done around the house.
But I heard that all the labor job in America it's kind of expensive, right? So you pay them how many? I don't know, hundreds of dollars for hour.
you know what an electrical outlet is in the wall,
Yeah.
right? You plug into it. If that goes bad, they'll charge you minimum $50 just to take it out and put a new one in. I can buy one for $5 and do it myself in 10 minutes. You know, they're expensive. Yeah.
Giraffe, please.
In Spain, electricians also are plumbers at the same time, and also do heating, air conditioning, everything. And if they work for themselves, it's a good job. They earn much money. But if they are employees, there's not much money. But they can make money if they work for themselves.
Now, plumbers are very, very expensive in America.
Well, actually, I don't know about Russia because every time I had a problem with electricity, I called Sergey. Sergey went and fixed it.
But you are not in Russia anymore.
But in general, Sergey, is it expensive or cheap in Russia to call an electrician?
Now it's very expensive because the part of electrician circle and wires is very expensive.
Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, so we know about this family. They were poor and they got a news, right? Leila, they got news about what?
They got new. Sorry, what you said? They got
Yeah.
used to.
No, they received a message, right?
Okay, the message is from their relative, I think uncle Dragomir. He died, and he has built down his mansion, his castle in Romania. I mean, it was a kind of miracle, I think, for me. So, of course, it turns out to be a nightmare. And they just went to Romania to see the ancient Gothic castle. And they met Madame Warkolak, right?
Ooh, should I say so? When you say
It was so frightening. She was so frightening.
Whoops. Yeah, but it was just a joke, right? So I say, Madame Varkolak.
Warkolak. Okay. Actually, during the film, they say about Madame Warkolak, creepy. So creepy means unpleasant.
Yeah, unpleasant in a ghost or supernatural way.
Okay. Thank
Leila,
you.
how would you describe Mrs. Varkolak?
I mean, the moment you see her, you could be frozen. I mean, no feelings, no emotions, so strict. I'm so sorry, but I'm not a racist, but I just want to say that she reminds me of the German soldiers.
She reminds me about my nurturer in my kindergarten,
Her manner is what Americans would call Russian-like.
What a compliment.
Never smiles, always serious. Yeah.
But it's true. Sergey, your teacher in kindergarten, it was like this, like Madame Varkolak.
I have a lot of similar teachers in my childhood, like Mrs. Varkolak.
Just reality.
Oh.
So when you see Mrs. Varkolak, who you remember from your school? Which teacher? From math or literature? No such type.
I don't know. Like she studied a lot of subjects.
Yeah, so there was so I understand. In how we call it, in young school, or how we call it, when people in minor school, how it's called. So we have high school and opposite is
Elementary school.
We have elementary, middle, and high.
So
Can we say secondary as well, Teacher Lee?
Secondary, all of that is called secondary.
Okay, all right.
Well, elementary is called primary.
Okay.
Elementary is primary, and then middle and high is secondary.
So
Okay.
why Wall was confused? Because in elementary school they have one teacher for every discipline, so they don't
It's the same.
change.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this yeah. And when I asked who was similar to Mr. Walkovich, he was confused because there was only one teacher. But was it like Mrs. Walkovich? Was she
Similar.
similar? Very similar. Yeah. So it's,
Wow.
you're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing bad.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Да.
Okay, but in movie it was kind of a little bit exaggerated. For a moment I thought it's a robot or something. So not and she moved like, you know, like robot at some point. Okay, so Castle, this Mrs., right? How we call a person, Teacher Lee, who is in charge of the castle? Kammerdiener, no?
We normally have a housekeeper
Mhm.
Mm,
and maybe a butler. Those are usually
Butler.
the servants.
right.
Okay.
So I would call, and then a groundskeeper would take care of the outside. So,
Yep.
yeah, Hagrid in Harry Potter was a groundskeeper.
Mhm, mhm.
Also,
Yeah, we have seen the movie, right? So something about detectives.
yes.
There was a butler, blind
Yeah.
butler. Yeah,
Remember
Mom?
Batman has a butler, remember?
yeah, yeah.
The
Yes,
old
yes.
man. Yeah.
Oh, he's so cute. I know.
Okay, so we know a little bit about castle. Vasants, what about the town? What did we learn about the town, about the city?
The town, at the time they arrived, there was an event. There was an event going on. It's all about vampires, and it almost like a Halloween festival. Everybody wears some weird costumes and makeup.
Mhm.
They have so much celebration at that time.
And they were waiting for a werewolf, right? Kind of a legend or urban myths.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some kind of folklore, something.
Mhm.
good.
So it was a protector of the city, right? This werewolf. I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, let's go straight to romantic story. Sergey, could you help us?
The romantic story started when father found some cooks with photos, beautiful lady, and she liked his photos, and she wanted to look for her, and he go to her office, and they had a good conversation, and she liked him too. And but for me, in the middle of movie, this romance story was strange. I don't understand. I didn't understand this show.
Okay, I just realized, Sergey, that we have two romantic stories. So you mentioned one between the father, right, David, and this lady. What was her name? Oh, do you remember?
Paulina or something.
Paulina.
Yeah.
Oh, Paulina. Yeah, very, very good. Well, Leila, you are so observant.
Ivan teasing me.
Okay, so there was another romantic story. Do you remember between?
Yeah, and I liked the moment when they met each other, when the Romanian guy threw a big piece of meat to her. I can't imagine the bad case for meeting, but I tried to imagine when I threw this piece of meat to beautiful girl, and after that, oh yes, beautiful, please go to me with to some dinner.
Yeah, but
Why
do you remember?
you threw the piece of meat to me with blood, with
And
something?
What?
yes, I remember she was vegetarian.
Yeah, she was a vegan, right? So it added salt to injury, right? So if you hit someone with a big piece of meat, so look out that it's not a vegan, right?
Yeah.
I think it's vegetarian and vegan are different. I think at this time, vegan didn't exist. This term is pretty new.
Yeah, that's true, really. Yeah.
Vegans are more Taliban.
Yeah.
More
Before
extreme,
they
right?
were just vegetarians.
Okay. Vegan, right? Vegan
It
is
was-
correct.
It was
Yeah,
an
we got it.
ironia, I think.
Irony, yeah. It
Irony.
was kind of a joke, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so and both these romantic stories, they kind of started to develop, right? So they meet each other, they kind of build relationships, I guess. Okay, Jared, and what happened after?
When they are already in Romania.
Yeah, let's just continue with the story. So they meet Paulina and this guy, Goran, right?
Okay, Paulina want to buy the house.
Mhm.
The real estate agent. And then Jordan and Hunter discover this hidden room. It's
Yeah.
like a laboratory. Jordan breaks a dial with blood, and this blood happens to be werewolf blood. So she starts to change to be a werewolf, but gradually, and she starts wanting to eat meat. So she was a vegetarian. Now she craves for meat.
And there was some kind of connection with full moon, right?
As usual with werewolves, when there is full moon, they transform completely to a werewolf.
Yeah, and I remember in the movie it was said that, you know, after kind of converting to a werewolf, you have a time kind of to cancel this, to abort this, only until the first full moon, yes? After that, you are werewolf forever, yeah. But I guess it's invented in this movie. I have never heard anything like this before.
They made that up to give her hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so and what it's like to be a werewolf? So what do you do if you are a werewolf? Just can you explain?
Well, we saw that it had some advantages. Her senses were more developed. She could smell better and see better, and she was stronger, and she could jump and do many things.
Mhm.
But she had to eat a lot of meat to be so strong.
But the problem, as far as I understand, not that she only eats meat, but she started to kill, right, animals and someone else to get this meat. So she had kind of a, how we call it?
Punks.
Yeah. So she ate to eat something, right? So it's something uncontrolled by her. So that's the problem.
And other problem, the hair, you know. The hair was growing in her body, and she didn't like that. Women usually don't like being hairy.
Yeah, hair problem. Yeah, and she, how we call it, cast herself in werewolf, literally, or convert. How we call it when you are human and then boom, you are an animal. So you are
We just say change into transform.
okay. Change. Okay, change. Good. Okay, so we learned the story about werewolf. So the girl, Jordan, now a werewolf. What about second part? What about the vampires? Vasant, could you please enlighten us about this story?
About the vampires?
Yeah. So what do we know about vampires? Why they arrived in this movie?
Yeah, because they wanted to own the castle, so that she can rule the dark world. I don't know. So she wanted to officially possess the palace. So in order to take ownership, so she had to eliminate all the living werewolves.
Mhm.
So she tried to kill the girl.
Yeah. So she this lady Paulina, right? Was she a boss of vampires? Am I right? Kind of boss, right? And she wanted to buy a castle, right? She almost made this agreement, and werewolf were kind of defenders of the city that vampires want to control. Okay, and we learn that Dragomir and werewolves, they are good guys, right? So, but what's the reason why they kidnapped a girl? Do you understand why Paulina kidnapped a girl, Jordan?
Jordan. I don't know. She had to kill her before the full moon day. I think so. Before the full moon day ends, she could have killed her in the car, but I don't know why she needed so much henchman's power.
And she tried to
Just-
kill her with
I-
silver bullets, I remember.
I just want to ask something. Is
Please.
Paulina a vampire or not?
Yeah, she's a vampire. She's a
Yeah.
boss kind of vampires. So at least there are some kind of vampires that listen to her.
Because you know
Yes.
why I ask Ivan? Whenever David wants to see her during the day, he couldn't find her. She comes at night. So I thought maybe.
Yeah, it's a good question. So in this movie, it's kind of interesting. So vampires, they aren't afraid of light if they in the face of humans, as I got it. But if they change it to vampires and they like second phase, then they're afraid of lights. Is it correct, Gerard? Do I understand correctly?
Yes, yes.
So they have kind of similar to werewolves. Vampire in this movie, they can be kind of human and they don't afraid of anything, right? Or they can be kind of a vampires, and in this case, light kills them. Does it answer to your question?
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Right.
Okay, so
I'm trying to understand everything.
Yeah, so girl is kidnapped. Vampires is getting control of the city. What is going on, Sergey? What is happening after this?
Repeat.
Yeah, so we are at the point that girl is kidnapped, right? And vampires is trying to get a control of the city, right?
The young brother started to explain father the phenomenon with werewolves, with vampires, but father didn't want to trust him. Anyway, they went to home of Paulina and they found her with werewolf, and after that Paulina put in headache. I remember the headache father and young brother, and this moment young brother was starting to transform from young guy to werewolf because he was
ancestor, right? Ancestor. He had this blood, right? He had this blood.
Yes, he had that blood, and he was more he was bigger than his sister. He was harder, and he broke some headache, and he started to fight with guy who was a vampire, and helpers of Paulina. They ran, and they started to fight with other army of vampires. It was the important moment. It was morning.
Yeah. So the light was the key to the win, right?
The day was coming.
Yep. So they was coming. Okay, we forgot about some facts, right, about werewolves. So in general, how can you become to be a werewolf? Gerard, do you remember? So how?
Yes. You are bitten by a werewolf, you get infected, with werewolf blood. And I don't know, there is another way. Is there any, or maybe
Yeah.
even your heritage?
In heritage, yeah. You
Okay.
have, yeah. If your mother, right, a werewolf,
Hmm.
you get this blood, so you can be, a werewolf. You are going to be a werewolf, but at age of 14. Right?
Mhm.
And they say in the first full moon after you get age of 14. Is it right? Or? Yeah. And luckily, it's our case.
Hunter.
Hunter, yeah.
So, Ivan, Dragomir was a werewolf.
Good question. Good question. Vasant, what do you think? Was Dragomir a werewolf?
Possibly, because so that the vampire lady would have tried to kill him, but that doesn't make sense too, because she wanted to possess the castle. So if she killed him, she would not have any chance to possess the castle. So it's confusing. Mhm.
But I believe he was. Actually, what do you think?
Yeah, he was a werewolf. He was the Wolfsburg beast that protected the town from vampires. Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But Paulina somehow managed to kill him. Paulina wanted to take over the castle kind of as a symbol, and make vampires dominant in the world. So you can think of the castle as the werewolves' headquarters. So she wanted to defeat it, take it over, and then the vampires would take over and kill everybody, and including the werewolves. So
Okay.
humanity is at stake now.
Is at stake? It means in
At
danger.
risk.
At risk.
At
Okay.
stake, at risk. Yeah. If you've seen the Underworld movies, in the Underworld movies, it's about the werewolves against the vampires.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a few lucky events for us, right? Dragomir helped a lot, so Hunter helped a bit, right? And finally, they won the vampires, right? What should we mention more? So that's all? That's just a happy end, or should we mention something else?
I just wonder what happened afterwards, you know? Looking
Well-
forward to hearing the stories and
Well, they all got caught. Paulina caught all of them. Okay. Paulina caught Jordan and Hunter and the dad, and it looked like they were doomed. And then Hunter suddenly turned into a werewolf. He had inherited the werewolf trait. So he became a strong werewolf, and he broke free of his chains, and he freed the sister and the dad, and they all killed all the vampires.
Yep.
oh,
So the werewolves won. The celebration happened to celebrate the Wolfsburg beast. And this time, Hunter was on a mountaintop going, "How?" And he had become the Wolfsburg beast after Dragomir's death.
right.
So he kind of inherited the leadership of the werewolves from Dragomir.
So the others, for example, Jordan has become a werewolf.
They cured
Forever?
her. They cured her.
Okay.
So she did not become a werewolf, but she retained a few werewolf characteristics. She had fast reflexes and was very acrobatic.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's talk about this lady, right? Varkolach. Oh, do you remember anything special about her in the end? Do you know this song? Oops, I did it again, or what it was? So they tried to make a joke, right? They tried to make kind of contrast, right, between her image,
Appearance?
yes, your appearance, your behavior, right? And this kind of frivolous song that she liked, that she has as a ringtone.
Yvonne, is she or was she a werewolf as well? No.
No, I don't think so.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
she was?
She was.
Really?
Who
Yes.
was that?
Madame
Varkalos.
Varkalos.
Vaculok.
I don't think she was a werewolf. She never changed. No, she was not, because she could not read the writing on the tomb.
No, I think she can, but she said she forgot her glasses.
Well, that's what she said, but really she was not a werewolf, because only a werewolf could read the recipe on Dragomir's tomb. She
Yeah.
couldn't
Okay.
read it, so she pretended like, oh, I didn't bring my glasses, but really she was not a werewolf and could not read it. So she was just
Okay.
a loyal housekeeper. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like when on a meeting, I'm as a boss, I say, I know this answer, but please go first, you know, and I have no idea about what they're talking about.
So a funny part of the movie was the family said, how did Dragomir become so rich? And Madame Varkalek said, he invented karaoke. So if you watch to the end of the movie, in the credits, all of the actors and actresses in the movie are singing a karaoke song about werewolves.
Wow.
So it had kind of a funny ending with the credits and the karaoke song. Yeah.
Sergey, please.
Yeah, and I remember the moment when the team went to the guy who sell meat, and they told him, yes, we have some parts for auction. Please give me mouse saliva, the part of scorpion, something and something and something. And the guy didn't surprise of it. But
Yeah. Heart of
if I
marmot,
have
right?
Huh?
Heart of marmot, right? What is marmot? It's just a, you know, small animal like a squirrel. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have all parts. What do you want? Only we don't have CV 140. What is CV? We have it. No problem. We
Sauce.
have it.
It's kind of sauce.
It's kind of so, yeah. So it was normal, right, for Romanian butcher. So if I go, let's say, to a Turkish like shop and say, please, a heart of marmot, 2 kilograms, right? They will be surprised probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
we don't sell those in America. We don't eat marmots. Yeah.
When you go in China, you can find anything, any animal.
Yeah.
And we know a guy, right, who ate a bat, right, and we still have consequences because of this. If you believe to this story, right? About the bat.
We usually prefer calf here.
Yeah.
Do you mean the guy who bought the mouse in China?
Bat, yeah, it's not a mouse,
Oh.
it's with wings, you know. A bat.
Yeah.
Ah,
I remember the moment.
But it's not clear was this guy or not, you know, so we still don't know exactly. Okay, so we covered the story of this movie. So if you have any questions or you want to share something, you know, about what
I
you
don't
like.
know. I don't know. Did you discuss about Romania as a place where some stories about vampires?
Yeah, a little bit. We talked about stereotypes about Romania. We talked about their language, and we talked about vampire stories that connected to them. Yeah. Do you have anything else about them?
Maybe not, but I dreamed in my previous life to go to Romania, to Bucharest, and but unfortunately I didn't have tickets to Romania, and I had to go to Munich.
Okay.
do you believe that?
Well, I remember when I was in Spain, Romanian people here had a bad reputation. So they
Yes, because Romanian is
poor country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of they have a lot of gypsies, right?
Gypsies, yeah.
Yes.
In the original werewolf movie that introduced the werewolf to America, and I grew up with a werewolf, with werewolf movies. The
Mhm.
werewolf was called the Wolf Man.
Mhm.
And in the original movie, there was this gypsy camp out in the woods. And this man had been bitten by a wolf. And he was changing into a werewolf, slowly. So when he was walking past this gypsy camp, and this gypsy woman looked at him and said, "You." And she said, "Show me your hand." And she looked at his palm, and when she looked at his palm, it had the pentagram in it. She could see a pentagram, and she said, "You are cursed. By the
Wow.
full moon, you will become a wolf." And he said, "Oh, that's nonsense." And he became a werewolf, and he got killed by, somehow somebody found out a silver bullet would kill him. So he got killed by a silver bullet. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
I
Well-
grew up, when I was young, we had Dracula, the werewolf, the mummy, Frankenstein, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. Those were the 5 monsters when I was growing up.
Yeah. Leila, what about your cultural code? What do you have? Do you have vampires there?
Oh, my dear friend, it depends on your personality here. For
Yeah,
example, my son loves vampire films, and I don't like. I like action movies. I don't like romantic movies. I don't like vampire. I like action. Could be sometime Western.
Yeah, but when I talk about cultural code, I mean these things, common things that you cannot avoid, So if you as a child, you are told some fairy tales, right? So you can see.
Yeah. Cinderella,
Mhm.
especially, the girls like me at that age, Heidi and Rapunzel, these kind of things, and no moral at all.
Yeah, what about vampires? No, not at all. No fairy tale.
No. Because in my culture at that time, now, no, it is not true. It's not. People think that children must not be frightened.
Mhm.
But
Nice.
it's not a good idea for me, because we should learn how to react when we are frightened, right?
Well, when I was a child and when I read this Brothers Grimm's, right? They called. So European after Brothers Grimm's. So every fairy tale was, so scared. So so they always try to scare children. So in a way to educate them.
No, not Ivan, I don't agree with you. And in my childhood and this childhood too, we have the adaptation of fairy tales of Brother Grimm. But 5 years ago, I bought some books for my children, and it was really scary. It's a real Brother Grimm. What
Wow.
father wanted to eat his children? What?
So,
Are you
so,
sure that it's fairy tale for children?
so Sergey, you're saying that in Soviet Union we had an adapted version of these fairy tales, right? Most
But
soft.
I
Okay.
didn't understand
Where
that.
is
Sergey, what about the impact of these stories on your children?
not my children started to laugh about it. Oh, father wanted to eat his children.
Well,
It's not
well,
true.
Leila, answering your question, I have a story. So many years ago, Wo was 3 or 4 years old, and I read a book for him. And later, in a few hours, he started to cry, and I went to his room and say, "What?" And he said, "Father, take this book out of my room." So
Oi.
I would not sleep in one room with this book,
What kind of book?
It was Brothers Grimm. You can Google this. So it's very famous
Okay.
in Europe.
But on the other hand, if I think of just think of me,
Yeah.
as romantic, just fascinating stories, and you feel like as if you were a princess, but it is not the same outside big world.
Well, it's a
So-
good question. Many people nowadays in the modern world say why we raise, especially girls, like a princesses, if they would not be treated as a princesses in the real world. So it's a question, yeah. So I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
What about your cultural code? So when you was a child, have you heard about vampires or some scary things?
No, no such stories. Even Draculas became famous due to the Hollywood movies here, so they are new to us.
I see. Gerard, and you, what did you read?
About what?
Yeah, when we was a child, so was your fairy tales very scary with vampires or I don't know, werewolves? Or it was different?
Movies, yeah.
Yeah.
But I like to read books written by Stephen King. Those books were very scary.
Yeah, but we're talking about, about young children, so like age of 5 or 4. So was your fairy tales, was this fairy tales trying to scare you?
Some
Or
of
it was a
them.
happy
Some of
end?
them, yes. Some of them.
Yeah, so it can be different, yeah, in different cultures.
Of course.
Yeah, teacher Lee shared that you say fairy tales were not scary. Yeah.
I mean, it's the same for me.
Good. Well, I don't know why we try to scare children. Maybe there are some idea behind this, but I don't believe.
I will check. I will check for you.
So there was one subplot in the movie about bullies.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the movie, Jordan was clumsy and meek and timid, and some mean girls, they were all trying out for soccer, and she was not very good, and the bully girls would throw the ball at her and hit her and make fun of her and mock her. At the
Yeah.
end of the movie, she went back to school, and in the cafeteria, one of the girls threw a soccer ball at her, and she didn't even look. She went whoop, and caught the ball in her hand and walked over to the table and put it down and said, "I'll see you at tryouts." So she had become confident and very capable at soccer now. So the implication is she was going to show off and show up the bullies. They
Yep.
were bullying her, but now she was no longer afraid of them.
Okay, Teacher Lee, just think of a girl like her. Does she have to be a werewolf to be, self-confident and, just strong?
No,
So-
but in her case, the werewolf that she used to be, she retained some of the confidence and the acrobatics and the skill.
So the werewolf helped her.
Yeah. She's not a werewolf anymore, but she kept some of the werewolf traits. Her reflexes were very fast. Yeah.
Okay.
She's going to be an excellent soccer player.
Yeah. I would not mind, to have a power of werewolf, right? And if I can use it, just for free, no training, no pain,
Yeah.
but there is a gain. Yeah.
Yeah, when she went with Goran on their first date in
Yeah.
Romania, she said, "Man, I feel great for some reason." And she jumped up and on a box and grabbed a cable and spun around a few times and leaped up in the air and landed on her feet.
Yeah.
She went, "Man, I feel good. I don't know why." And he was like, "Whoa, what kind of girl are you?"
Yeah, I would be scared, if my date, that jumped to the roof, I would say, sorry, probably not my case.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, so we can practice some slides then, right? So is it the blood on the top? The boy who cried werewolf. So how werewolf connected to the blood? So because they're hunting, right? This is the reason. Werewolf.
Yes.
Lela, do you know how we call this font in the second line?
No, my dear friend, but I love it.
Yeah.
What is that? name of the font?
What do you know? It's kind of not an exact name, but this style of the fonts we call Gothic, you know? Like,
Oh, Gothic.
and what is Gothic?
I think
I mean, it's a kind of house style, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a
Yeah.
like Barocco or like
Gothic,
Renaissance. It's
maybe.
kind of a period of time, and at that time, some kind of type of architecture or fonts
Yeah.
of arts was popular. What?
In the movie, vampires and werewolves were fighting,
Fighting?
and I think letters with blood is vampires, and werewolf it's like
I see. So Vola thinks that werewolves, it's funks, so it's tools of this werewolves. So it's kind of
Right.
And
Vampires have fangs and werewolves. Vampires' fangs come from the top. Werewolf fangs come from the bottom.
yeah,
oh
nice.
my,
Oh, yeah.
Vampire top and werewolf bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, are we close to your, you know, to your intent?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good. Okay. Okay. So let's start with this one. Sergey, could you please start to describe this picture?
The dining room in American house of this family. We can see some glasses doors and part of chair. And in the center of the photo is located the table with 4 chairs and laptop with some stickers, glasses, some parts of fabric like napkins, fabric napkins.
Clothes, right? Oh, what?
Those cloth squares, we call those placemats.
Placemats.
Yeah.
And it just keeps the table clean, and then we put the silverware on and the plate on top of the placemat. So when you
Yeah.
finish, the placemats keep the table from getting dirty.
Good.
The dining room looks like a combined places with dining room and with
Yeah, with something else. Yeah, so it's kind of
something
yeah,
else.
not a dedicated room, but kind of place for everything, right?
It's kind of, well, it's a separate room, but we call it open. It's an open dining room. It doesn't have a separate wall that's completely closed. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Sergey, so I can see some stickers on the laptop, right?
Yeah, I think it were heroes of games with monsters, with werewolves, with vampires, because the guy was a fan of those movies and games.
Do you have any stickers on your laptop?
Not only libras,
Only what?
only a name of my company.
Ah, okay, name of your company. Okay. Gerard, do you have any stickers on your laptop?
Not really, no. I don't like stickers.
But why people put stickers on their laptops?
To make it something personal, original.
Like bumper stickers, just to show your personality. These are probably little monster stickers.
I have a story, you know, I have a story. So I never had any stickers on my laptop, so I just don't feel I need one, you know, to share something. But then I went to some IT conference, and on some tables there were like kind of 200 identical laptops, you know, so all the same model. And to find mine, it was a tricky task.
yeah,
Yeah.
good
So
idea.
sometimes then I use some sticker, you know, just to recognize which is mine. Okay, so any questions or should we go? Okay, this guy looks very kind of dedicated.
Yeah.
He likes his game.
If you look to the left,
Mhm.
It looks like there's an ironing board. If you know what an ironing board is, it's a
Yeah.
rectangular kind of like platform, and there's a white iron. So she was ironing clothes and she stopped and put the iron on its butt. So
Mhm.
there's an ironing board there. She's got the dining room table set. So she's the housekeeper for Dad. She takes care of the house chores.
And what's the verb we use for this iron board? Do we mount and dismount it, or how we call it?
I would say set it up and put it away.
Put it away. Okay.
It
And-
usually has folding legs, right? The legs fold flat.
And she's not only housekeeper, right? She tried to make a date, right? To organize a date for her father.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Matchmaker, right? Matchmaker.
Matchmaker. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's skip a few. Gerard, could you please tell us about what is happening here?
This is the moment where the girls were bullying Jordan
Mhm.
because she was clumsy, and they shot the soccer ball to her and make fun of her.
So what do you think? Is it a kind of soccer field connected to the school, right? School
Yeah.
place.
But
I
if
can-
you look
Mhm.
behind here, though, those are ordinary houses.
Yeah.
So the school is in a neighborhood. So usually you'll have the houses, the school, and there'll be a big open field. So this big open field is being used by the school for their soccer field. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that usually we have a kind of relevant distance from this stadiums or rings to the buildings, because these windows can be shattered very easily with if you are inaccurate with the ball. Right? So, how is it a gate? What we call with the network, right?
We'd call that I guess the goal post
Mhm.
at goal post and frame, I guess.
Mhm.
Usually, when we play soccer, sometimes you kind of kick the ball and it puts inside this frame, right? But
Right.
sometimes it hits just this framework, right? Is it any special name for this when you hit the framework?
I don't know soccer, so I don't know. Maybe it's called a foul. I don't know.
Sergey, maybe you know how we call
I
it?
think it's barbell, but
No, I mean the event, So when you kick the ball, right, but you don't go to the inside the gate, right, but just hit the framework and jump out. How we call it?
I would call it a near miss.
Near miss, yeah. I remember there was some special term for this, but I'm trying to remember and not that good. Yeah.
It might be.
Sergey, maybe I will remind you with Russian word. In Russia, we call it shtanga. So how it's called?
yes, I understand, but I don't know how to speak English, but my Google Translate barbell. So
Sergey, when you say I don't know how to speak English, it means you don't know at all, any English. So probably you don't know how to call this in English, or how to name this in English, or how to say this in English.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like this. It's just funny. So I'm sorry.
What the English word?
Okay. So let's find something.
We are rich.
We are rich. We are rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take
it's a
this.
funny, it's a funny.
Leila, could you please describe this picture?
Okay, this is the moment when the Sands family, the first time, came to the castle, right?
Yep.
And the lady, she was like a statue, no feelings at all. And I hated her clothes. Jordan is on the left, and David, their father, middle, and Hunter on the right. And it's a very dark entrance, I think, but I can see a kind of wolf. What was that? Is it a
Stuffed
type of
animal. Yeah.
Stuffed animal. Okay.
Stuffed animal, yeah. Looks
The
like
kind
a
of
wolf.
wolf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
that's all.
Vova, is it a deer antlers or what is this?
Looks like deer, yes.
Deer? Okay. Well,
Oh, I can see candles.
candles, chandelier, right?
Yes, candles.
Yeah. We just call those candle
Holder.
holders. Yeah, candle
holder.
holders.
One day I will learn teach. I'm sorry. Every time you correct my chandelier things. So
Yeah, chandeliers are usually circular and they hang on the ceiling. Chandeliers hang. So
Okay.
she's wearing a heart-shaped locket
Yep, heart shape.
and
So
some kind of brooch. I don't know what her brooch is.
I guess it's a medal for killing someone.
Looks like a medal, yeah.
Oh, you know what? It looks like a whistle for me.
This medallion, this locket, you mean?
Yeah,
Medallion. Yeah, medallion.
Medallion. Well,
Medallions are usually circular. We would call it a locket.
locket. Okay. Usually,
Usually
we put a
they
photo
open
inside.
up, right? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I saw it. It's a heart.
Yeah, it's a house, right?
Yeah.
Okay, another one. Vasant, could you please describe this one? A lot of small details, challenging job.
Yeah, it's the butcher shop of the guy. You can see a lot of small eatables, I think. Okay, vegetables, big baskets, and
I'm trying to read something, and it's really like in Latin or something. Salata verde. So it's green salad, but it's in kind of Latin.
Okay.
So
how can we call them? Are they a tag or a name board, something like that?
I would just call them signs, small signs, I guess. Signs or name tags, labels.
Thanks, yeah, I see. And it's called Varza Ruski, which means Russian meat.
Ah.
or meat in Russian way or something like this. You know,
Okay.
I took some classes of Latin in my past life, but it's not enough for me to talk in this, but I can read something. So, and another one is Morkovi. Sergey, do you know what is Morkovi?
Yes, I know. It's a. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's a carrot, yeah. It's a carrot, yeah. But it's interesting because it's a kind of a mix of Latin and Slavic language, so all together. So, yeah, we can read it. So how we call this kind of clothes that boy is wearing? Vasant, do you know? Yeah.
Apron.
Apron, yeah, apron. A lot of jars, right, on shelves with probably some condiments, specialities.
Yeah. Maybe pickled products.
Yep. Well, but what do you think about this place? It looks good? Would you like to make shopping here?
Yes, I can see head of the bear
Yeah, on the
on the wall. Yes.
on the right part on the wall we
Oh,
can see
this is
a wolf
wolf and this is bear.
with glasses. No, it's not a bear actually. It's a boar, so a wild pig on the wall behind the boy. It's
And this.
on the left. Yeah, there are stuffed kind of heads of animals, and somehow all of them have glasses. Probably a joke.
Yeah, I don't know why. Notice the man, go back one. Notice the man on the left is standing on a ladder.
Yeah.
Notice there's a horizontal rail, so the ladder can slide back and forth so he can reach things in high locations.
Looks like a good solution, right? It's already mounted, so you don't have to bring it from somewhere. You don't worry if it's collapse or something. So it's,
Yeah.
it looks
And
good.
you just slide it sideways. If you're standing on it, you can kind of grab the bar and just slide yourself sideways to go somewhere else.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, let's find another one. Vova, could you please describe this one?
Secret lab.
Hidden room or secret lab, right?
Mhm.
Okay, what can we see?
Some experiments and know how to call jar.
Teacher Liv wrote it's flasks.
Flasks.
Mhm.
Mm.
They're connected to the stands, right? So we have a metal stands and they connected these flasks to kind of props, I don't know, holders.
Yeah.
Okay, there are some liquids in that, right? Of different color.
Mhm.
What else? What about the door? Let's start from this. So what do you think about the door?
Pretty beautiful. Like a library.
It's
Like,
a
it's bookshelf.
it's a bookshelf, right? So it's a secret door, right? You have to pull some book and it will open.
It was funny moment when boy was trying to, and he was, oh, I open it, and his
Yeah, and she had a remote.
remote control.
Yeah, that's what it was. Kind of a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was young, I wanted a room like this, you know. So when we started to build a house, I asked my father, let's build one, you know, let's build one secret room with, you know, all these bookshelves and everything, because I read about this in some books and I saw that, but it was too much work for nothing. So we did not do this, and I still regret. Well, so when we start to build a new house, you should, you know, tell me to build one. Okay, what's inside these flasks? Do we know?
LB 112.
200, 17, yeah, something like this. 12. And L is it's
I'll be
licorice or something. Let me find. I had this name.
Lycanthropic.
Yeah. Usually, what is
LB.
it? Lycanthrope. What is this?
Lichen is Latin for wolf,
Mhm.
and anthrope, anthrope is Latin for man. So lycanthrope is a wolf man. Our original werewolf movies were called The Wolf Man.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw this lycanthropy before, lycanthrope, but I never understood what is this. Sergey, what is happening on this page?
Poor subject.
If I understand correctly, it is depilation.
Kind of, yeah. And how would we call this table? Right.
Makeup table.
Dressing table, maybe, Sergey?
I don't know. I don't have the the similar table
No, why? How you do your makeup before your job?
because I don't have makeup something for make. I have one device for makeup. My
Shaving,
my
right?
Yeah.
Usually if it's a woman's, if it's a piece of furniture with a mirror behind it, we usually call it a dresser.
Mhm.
What about dressing table? Is it right or?
Dressing table's okay, yeah. In this case, this is more of a dressing table because it's small. Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, it is very popular in Turkey. Almost every lady has one.
Leila, I have one behind me. I don't know why, but I have one. It's a big dresser and mirror, so when I do my makeup at the morning, you know, I have all
Come on.
the utility for it.
So she's using some kind of a like fly paper, sticky paper, and she's slapping it down and ripping the hair out of her leg.
And
Women
wax.
do this, huh?
It's kind of wax, or how we call it?
Wax.
Wax.
Yeah, women use hot wax. They put the hot wax on the hair, and then paper sticks to the wax, and they rip it all off.
Well, I have to share a story of hard knocks in Turkey, teacher Lee. So before that, I saw that only women use these wax tapes. But recently, I went to barbershop in Turkey, and Sergey, can you imagine what happened with me? In a moment, you know, they did not ask me anything, but in a moment, I have a wax in my ears and my nose.
Yes, yes.
I can imagine one time I had the similar experience.
Yeah, but it was so, you know, for them it was normal, so they did not
Yeah,
ask me anything.
yeah.
So they just put some stick with wax and inside my ear, inside another nose, and I was so terrified that I just, you know, just waited what we will have now.
You complied.
But they think that it's a kind of, you know, just getting cleaner.
Yeah. So it was a surprise, Leila. It was a surprise, but it was interesting experience, let's say, something new.
Yeah, of course, Ivan, different cultures.
So she was wearing a bathrobe. We call that a bathrobe.
Uh-huh.
She's sitting on a bench.
Because it's long, right? That's why, and without
And
back,
a low back. It has a short back, it looks like, but we'd call it a bench. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And we
Good.
can see a drape, right? So probably it can be closed, right?
Yeah, I don't know why what that is, unless it's around the bed for privacy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I have seen such a room. So they have kind of a bedroom and kind of a small closet, but without door, only with drape. So you can go there and, you know,
Okay.
can some private place.
Okay.
Okay, let's go Fuse and Gerard. What about this one?
We can see the tomb on what was the name of this guy? Radomir?
Dragomir? Mhm.
Dragomir. And this is the moment where they can read, the two siblings can read the recipe, and Mrs. Radomir, she can. No, teacher Lee told us she's not a werewolf because she's not a werewolf, but she said, no, I don't have my glasses with me. Well, actually, the reason was she wasn't the werewolf. And we can see many tombs. It's like a Catholic cemetery. Looks like. I think in America, cemeteries are different. Only crosses on the ground.
Yes, cemeteries were very different in different places. So what is interesting for me on this picture? First of all, I see that the cemetery is not kind of organized, right? So we can see that this rectangular tombs, they are kind of point in different directions, right?
Yeah.
And in Russia, we don't have this. In Russia, we have, it's always, Sergey, to what? To west or to east. So it's always directed to one point, right?
Yes, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
We
yeah,
have the
something.
similar.
Yeah, and
the
it's
similar
interesting.
system.
Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, I can see writing on the tomb on this side, right, on the left, and on the right side. But in Russian cemetery, it's always on one side. So everything directed to one side and writing on the different side. And I was told that it's kind of connected to the religion or something. So it's, you know, when sun rises, you know, God will will read this, and, you know, on the day when you have to go to the heaven, something like this. So it has some story behind, but not on this cemetery, right? Yeah. And what kind of style of tomb it is? Is it Gothic? It seems so.
It's
Gypsy
fancy.
style, I think.
Yeah, it's the fanciest one in the whole cemetery. His is like black marble and gold, and the other
Yeah.
ones are just concrete. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
very
Okay.
nice.
Let's find something. Leila, could you please describe this one?
Of course. Please help me because I couldn't watch the second
Yeah,
part.
we
no?
understand. Okay.
And I can see Paulina, and is this Jordan that she's talking to with a
Yep.
cap?
Yeah, Jordan and Hunter, they both.
Okay, where's Hunter? In the car?
Yeah, they just went out of the car.
He's
Okay.
behind Jordan. Jordan and Hunter are behind the car.
And I could see the vampires behind Paulina.
Exactly.
Right. And it is a very scary place for me. And it is a kind of path through the wooden places or forest, I'm not sure. But there is a car approaching.
Taxi car, yeah, cab.
Yeah, taxi cab. And usually said foggy. I think foggy, yeah. I think the weather is not good.
Mhm.
And Paulina looks so sure of herself. I don't know, that's all I think.
Leila, how close Romania is to Africa?
Too
To Africa? To Black Continent?
far away, my dear friend. I'm not good at geography a lot, but I know Africa is another continent.
Yeah, far away, not connected directly. No, you have to cross
Right.
many borders to reach Africa from
Yeah.
Romania.
You see the black guy there.
I see.
That's why you recalled to ask me.
Yeah, I just surprised that that we have black vampires, right? So it's not
Why not? Could be possible.
Probably, yeah. So if someone bites you, yeah. Sergey, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, they sound weird, but those vampires don't like the real vampires in my head. I think that the real vampires have to have other makeup, other
Appearance.
teeth.
Appearance, yeah. Yeah, this one looks like a zombie to me, right? So more like
Yeah, you're right.
white and So vampire, do you remember Dracula? He's a pretty guy, right? He's neat, he's wonderful looking, right? So he's a
Wonderful looking. Thank you, Ivan.
okay, Leila, please describe the vampire. How does it look?
Oh no, thank you very much. I don't know, but every time I see vampire, I see the color black and red and white teeth.
Yeah, but
That's all.
it says that vampires, they are powerful, right? They're eternal, they are powerful, they have a lot of power inside. So, and they're not like zombies. They cannot run, cannot walk well, right? So it's different.
Okay.
One thing I liked about Paulina was she acted like a Southern girl in the USA. Oh, the car stopped. Oh, don't worry. I'll just open the hood and shake the doohickey and it'll start working again. She doesn't know what to call the technical parts. I'll just shake the doohickey. That was kind of cute.
Yeah, we say I remember when I was young and my TV that did not work. My grandmother told me just take a boot, and hit it, so it will work after that. This much we understand. Vasant, do you remember this episode or this? Could you describe this picture, please?
Yes, this is where the boy was trying to expose the lady, but he was saying that she is a vampire, but everybody laughed at him because nobody believed him except one guy, who is very fond of vampires and all the folklore stories. His dad didn't believe him, so they cut the date abruptly and then left the place. But this restaurant also seemed like run by vampires. They don't have garlics, and the server also, the waiter also looked so weird. Yeah.
What do you think about this restaurant? If you ask me, I think that these tables are too close to each other. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's like you having dinner with someone else, right? you did not invite. So Vova, he cried wolf at that moment, right? And no one believed him.
Well, he cried vampire.
And no one believes him. Why?
Because he will like to scare.
He used to scare everyone, right, with these scary things, right? And he lost credibility, or how we call it. No one believes him.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, let's I don't know, let's do the last one. Something, you know, let's find something interesting. Which one do you prefer, lab or vampires?
Lab.
Lab. Okay. Tell us about the lab. What do they do?
They are vaccinating
Vaccinating, good. Making injection to whom?
to to how was it? Yeah,
Jordan.
Jordan, yes, sure.
Mhm.
Jordan. And on the shelf, I can see a lot of
Yeah, different equipment, let's say. Oh, scalps, yeah, on the top.
yes,
Yeah. Human scalps, human scalps on the top. Mhm.
and some animal head,
Mhm. Mhm.
and a lot of this jars,
Yeah, flasks, do you remember? And
flask, yes.
okay, so it's a lab, right? So the same lab, it's a hidden room, right? Can you see a carpet on the wall, on the ceiling? Carpet on the floor, sorry, not on the ceiling, on the floor. Yeah, Sergey, can I ask you, can you see these two circular things on the table?
Yes, it's an old style recording device. Those two circle include two plastic tape with magnet cover. The magnet cover remember the change of electricity, and when we start to rotate these circles, we can see voices
Listen.
and music.
Yeah, we can hear.
Films. Yeah.
Yeah, did you have one such
Yes,
slide?
yes, I had in my childhood, and I liked the movie when he spies in American spies and Soviet Union spies and German spies started to put this button and they started to recording conversation to spies.
Yeah. Well,
I like it.
yeah, I had one exactly like this, but mine was with recording option. So it has not two circles, but four of them. So you can play on two and record on another two. So it was kind of, you know, wow, it was a thing, you know, it was almost a studio.
Sound like a copy machine. You can play a film and record it at the same time.
And actually, Leila, I had a terrifying story about this recorder. Can you believe me? So once my father brought me a tape and he said, it's the only tape we got from your grandfather. So there is a voice of your grandfather. It's the only tape that exists. So could you please play it? And I inserted it. And instead of play, I click it on record.
Oh.
And while I try to understand what is happening on and where is the sound and check it everything, I ruined the tape.
Oh,
It's how clumsy I was. And still is. Recorded over it, as a teacher said.
So we call that kind of a device reel to reel. We say reel to reel device. Old projectors used to be reel to reel to show movies.
In cinemas, yeah, in the cinemas. Yeah. And I remember that in the cinema, you cannot have a reel big enough for the whole cinema. So they switch it from one device to another device at some point. Yeah. Remember this.
And when that happens in the upper right corner of the screen, you'll get some white dots that will appear. And that's the cue to the guy to switch to the other projector.
Well, do you understand what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Can you imagine that we have seen movies from such devices in cinema? Okay. So it's ancient story just now, like, you know, old dream or so. Okay. good discussion, good movie. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
call it a day for
Titali.
today.
Thank you, everybody.
And what
Thank you,
about the movie? We did not say it, but you know, it was simple movie. It was kind of more entertainment, right, than something else. But somehow I enjoyed it. So it was not too woke or something. It was just a good, nice movie, you know, to watch.
I
Without
liked it
hard
too.
feeling. Yeah, so I like it. Not too scary, not too stupid, just enough of everything.
And like I say, I watched this movie and another one called The Sleepover.
Yeah.
And The Sleepover is like a kid's spy movie, and it was kind of cute and funny. So you might want to, if you like spy movies and children's kind of things, The Sleepover was a pretty good spy movie too.
Titali, whatever you choose with Ivan and other people, I will do my best to watch. Don't worry. I
What's
mean,
up,
it
please?
depends on you.
Yeah, I think this is the movie. This is the first vampire movie without any blood. You know, they didn't show a drop of blood, right? So it's a kid-friendly movie. Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me, I can choose action film, and I don't think any of you likes. For example, I watched Security, Antonio Banderas. I loved it.
But we like Banderas, right? Or in general. I like him when he was a young boy from this movie. Do you remember Killers? When he was a Assassins, yeah. He was a young boy with Assassins.
I started watching Desperado.
Desperado.
Yes.
Okay, but yeah, for the next time, let's choose this one, the sleepover.
Okay.
Right? Sleepover, yeah.
Whatever you say, I am going to watch.
You'll enjoy it.
Thank you very
Literally,
much.
how many years I have been studying English with you? You know, long time.
Oh,
And now
long
you know
time.
me.
But the Sleepover is good for children too. If you know any kids, they would enjoy that movie because kids are the heroes in the movie. They have to save the parents. It's a little bit like The Incredibles. Remember The Incredibles? The Incredibles 2, the parents are in trouble and the kids go save them. This is the same kind of idea. The parents get in trouble and the kids come to the rescue. So it's kind of a funny spy movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Before I go, I would like to say the best movie for me, the ones we have watched up to now, Squid Games. I mean, you don't expect me to say that. I know that.
Squid Game. Okay.
But it was scary. Layla, people died, and thousands of people died. Yeah, but I understand what you're talking about. Well, you know, it has a good rating and not for nothing, right? So many people like it. Yeah.
Ivan, you got a lot of lessons.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank
See you.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye,
everyone.
Goodbye.